Hello friends, today we are discussing the topic RS-232 in the subject microprocessor unit number 6. Then it has the history, standards, what is the wiring of the RS-232. These are the contents of this topic, connection type, limitations of the standards and RS-232 pins, examining the RS-232 handshaking signals. These are the contents we are today discussing. Introduction. RS-232 is a recommended standards 232. It is basically a interface standard. It commonly used in a computer serial port. The standard defines the electrical characteristic and a timing of the signal. The current version of the standard RS-232 is TIA-232F, issued in a 1997. RS-232, also known as a recommended standard 232. What is the story behind the RS-232? RS-232 has first introduced in 1969. For many years, RS-232 compatible port was a standard feature of a serial communication. The standard continued to be revised and updated by the Electronic Industrial Alliance since 1988 by the Telecommunication Industry Association. The C revise of the standard was issued in August 1969. So these are the RS-232 ports. D-type ports are there. 9-pin, 16-pin connectors are there. In a RS-232 user, data is sent as a time series of the bits. In RS-232, user data is sent as a time series of the bits. Both synchronous and asynchronous transmissions are supported by the standard. RS-232 device may be classified as a data terminal equipment. RS-232 devices may be classified as a data terminal equipment DTE or a data communication equipment, that is a TCE. This defines that each device which wire will be sending and receiving each signal. DTE, data terminal equipment, refers to the terminal and computers that sends and receive the data. DCE refers to the communication equipments such as the modem that are responsible for data transferring. Logical voltage. RS-232 is a little non-intuitive at first. Logic 1 is at the minus 15 volt. Logic 0 is at a plus 15 volt DC. When the connection is ideal, the hardware ties the connection to the logical 1. When there is a connection ideal, at that time it ties the connection with the logical 1. How can you transmit the data? RS-232 communication depends on a set timing speed at which both pieces of the hardware communicate. In other words, the hardware knows how long a bit should be high or a low. In other words, the hardware knows how long a bit should be high or a low. RS-232 also specifies the use of the start and a stop bit. RS-232 also specifies the use of the start and a stop bit, sending a one character. Every time a character is sent, the same communication occurs. Start bit sent, 7 data bits are sent, and a stop bit is sent. Means one character is sent at a time which has a start and stop bit. This communication depends on the fact that both the devices are sampling the bits at the same interval. This communication of the RS-232 depends on the fact that the both devices are sampling the bit rate at the same interval. Start bit and a stop bit. The start bit is a logical 0 sent on the line to tell the other device to start the sampling. Remember, the logical 0 is plus 15 volt and a logical 1 is a minus 15 volt DC. the stop bit and a start bit. A stop bit is always sent a sampling of the transmission. How the sampling is done: 0101 as shown in a figure. The sampling is done, and sometimes a signal remains a ideal -15 and a +15 size is there. Line sampling and a framing. RS-232 hardware samples the line multiple times during a single bit transmission. If the sampling do not all have the same voltage, a framing error occurs. The framing error should only occur if one device is sending faster than the other device is set to receive. An intentional frame error can be caused by sending a break. Wiring of the RS-232. The RS-232 specification denotes the usage of the 35-pin cable, where each pin has a specific usage, where most the devices never needs to use all of the pins. So the cabling requirements for specific devices may vary. Many common serial devices, modems, for example, uses a 9-pin serial connections. The two different connections are associated with two major types of the hardware. The computer terminal equipment. The computer terminal equipment, that is a CTE, and a data terminal equipment, that is a DTE. For easy of the use, computer will transmit on pin 2 and receive on a pin number 3. For too easy to use, a computer will transmit on the pin number 2 and receive on a pin number 3. Vice versa, a modem will transmit on a pin 3 and receive on a pin number 2, that is a DRE. For people familiar with the modem communications, there is a speed limitation and associated with the transmissions. The 56K kilobytes analog modems are pretty much the fastest analog modem that consumers are going to see. This limitation is due to telephone systems, not the computer system. Speed limitations, however, serial communications between the device also has its own speed barrier. RS-232 has designed with the understanding that the analog world is far from the perfect. Digital is the fast, analog is a slow. RS-232 is an analog. Therefore, it is a slow in computing terms. Why it is slow? A delta t time is exists. The change is not instantaneous. Sampling does not occur immediately, so it must wait for a delta t plus t0. Cable length increases as the length of the cable between the devices increases, the limitations of the standard. The limited transmission speed, relatively large voltage swing, and the largest standard connectors motivate developments of the universal serial bus, which needs the database RS-232. The multi-drop connection among more than two devices is not defined. Also, multi-drop have limitations in the speed and compatibility. Some different types of the RS-232 cables are as shown in a figure, which may be used sometimes the printer, hub, like these are the devices having the RS-232. RS-232 is used in some of the modems like this. A pin 232 pin out of the this is a 9 pin or this is a 25 pin male pin out. To ensure the fast and reliable data transmission between the two devices, a data transfer must be considered coordinated. Many of the pins of a RS-232 connector as used for a handshaking signal. Pins of the RS-232. It has a data terminal ready pin. It has a data set ready. It has a request to send. It has a clear to send. It has a data carrier detect, and it has a ring indicator. Serial port identifiers are as shown in the figure. This is the bibliography used for your purpose. Thank you friends for watching the video.